Business Law in Practice, NARAC based report on exclusion clauses and directors' duties. First slide is title. Welcome to my presentation for Law 8916 Business Law, Semester 2 2025. This case based assessment examines two scenarios using the RSC method. IRAC method. Exclusion clauses in contrast in directors' duties under the Corporations Act. The analysis highlights fairness, fairness, accountability, and governance in Australian business law. Slide 2 is the and another outline outline. In this presentation, I will cover two case studies. First, I will analyze Omi Wood's reliance on an exclusion clause in a negligence claim. Second, I will explore a director's misuse of corporate funds and duties under the Corporation Act. I will conclude with key finding, implementations, and recommendations. Slide 3 is the case study and issue and rules. The key issue is in case study I is whether Omi Woods can enforce an exclusion clause after Jackson's injury. Jackson signed a document headed marketing that contained the clauses and the rising questions of enforceability. Under contract law, incorporation by signature, notice or course of during determine validity. Case such as Yell Strength v. Grevco and Kausar v. Brown. Brown show exceptions where documents are misleading. Statutory protections mm, under the Australian consumer law also apply. Section 18 prohibits misleading conduct. Section 23-24 void unfair terms, and Section 60-61 impose guarantees of due care. Together, these rules from the legal framework for assessment. And another slide is presenting case study 1 application and outcome. Another slide is the case study and application and outcome. Applying these rules, Omi-Words clauses is unlikely to be enforceable, although Jackson signed the form. It was presented as a marketing documents, creating a mispresentation similar to uh, Cousin V. Brown. He was roused and given no reasonable notice. Contrary to Thumbtown v. Sui Lane parking under the the term could be deemed unfair as in ACC v. J. Richards. Jackson may claim remedies for breach of contract, negligence based on do no give Stevenson's and statutory consumer rights. Possible defenses include assumption of risks, voluntary non-fit injury, or contributory negligence under civil liability act, but these are work. And slide 5 is the case study and to issue and rules. Slide 5 issue. Case study to ask whether Alicia breached direction duties by diverting $6 million from Cobel Ltd. The Corporation Act codifies these duties. Section 180 requires directors to act with care and diligence. Emphasize in denial v. Anderson and ASIC v. Haley. Section 181 mandates a good faith and proper purpose eh, supported by supported by supported by faith and proper purpose supported by ASIC v. adhere. Section 182 prohibit improper use of a position, while Section 183 prohibits improper use of information. Section 184 elevates reckless or dishonest breaches into criminal offences as clarified in RB. Beyond this, statutory and case law duties provide the framework for analyzing Alicia's conduct. Slide 6 case study to application and breaches. Alicia's conduct clearly breached multiple duties by transferring funds to her trust accounts. She misused her position and failed to act in good faith, contravening section 181 and 182 using Kobel Limited's assets to artificially support Soya Limited's share price reflect an improper purpose. Neglecting this solvency of both companies during a financial crisis indicates a breach of Section 180's care and diligence requirements. Her her actions could also be reckless or dishonest, invoking Section 184's 184's criminal liability. This situation mirrors ASIC v. Adair, where misuse of related party funds lead to penalties. Alicia's breaches expose her to severe consequences. And another slide is slide 7 penalties, defenses, and power. The Corporation Act provides significant penalties for Alicia's breaches. Civil penalties include pecuniary fines up to $1.11 million, compensation orders for company losses, and disqualification from this directorship under directorship under section 206C, criminal liability under section defenses such as the business judgment rule under section 182, or reliable on professional advice under section 189 190. However, these are unlikely to succeed due to her self-interest. ASIC has a broad power to investigate, pursue civil penalties, enforce undertaking, or refer matters to the Commonwealth Directors of Public Prosecutions. And another slide is the number 8 and last slide, recommendation and conclusion. In summary, Omi words cannot rely on its exclusion causes. Jackson has strong contractual two tiers and statutory claims. Alicia, on the other hand, committed multiple breaches of her of the Corporations Act, exposing her to civil, criminal and regulatory uh, criminal and regulatory consequences. This case studies emphasizes the importance of consumer protection, fairness in contrast and accountability in corporate governance. The key recommendation in is that organization governance frameworks. By doing so, business can minimize legal risks, maintain stakeholder trust, and consumer adherence to both contractual framework and statutory directors' duties in Australian business law. Thank you so much.